Hey everyone, Enes here, Whiteacre Properties. I'm back with an episode, guys, here in Hopkinton, and we're gonna crunch some numbers. I promise to show you guys everything on properties that we buy, the thought process before, the numbers, the lessons learned, the finished product, right, the exciting stuff. And today we're gonna talk numbers. So stick with me. I'm gonna share exactly how much we purchased it for, what we spent in renovations, how much money we made at the end, any lessons learned on the crunching the number side, right? So let's dive right into it. So let me give you guys some backstory on exactly how we found the property and how much we paid for it. This was a acquisition for us back in August 2021. About 6 months before though, we got a call from someone that got our letters. We do a ton of direct mail. That's our primary way of finding deals in the greater Boston market. So it's all off market leads that we go after. People that haven't listed yet, but they are interested in selling, they call us after getting our letter. The seller here, she called, her and the husband, they were ready to sell. They had an RV in the driveway. They were buying a place up in Maine. They wanted out. They just wanted a fair price. So they called us, we came here, we looked at the property and we said, you know what, this is exactly what we buy. It needs some work, but it's good. I think they were looking for $400,000 and some back and forth. We purchased it for $322,000. It was a good price. We applied the 70% rule. That's the formula we use. So I repeat that in these videos over and over again, but if you guys don't know what that is, check out one of the videos above. I go into detail exactly how we run numbers, because at this point in our business, we are not running numbers on emotions. We're not running deals on how we feel about it. We just apply the formula, and 70% rule covers us all the time if something goes sideways. Here initially we thought we were going to sell the property for $560,000. You need to know the ARV on these deals even before purchasing them. ARV stands for after repair value, and typically how you do that is by looking at comparable sales in the neighborhood. Now the market has changed dramatically in Hopkinton and prices have gone up quite a bit, so we sold for way more than that. But when I started the process, $560 is what we were thinking we would sell for. We also thought that we would spend about $100,000 on the renovations. I think initially we thought 70 or 80, and then we bumped it up once we got in here. $560 ARV, $70,000 on repairs. It gave us an offer price of $322,000, and that's how we came up with it. If you guys are wondering, seems like a really low price, that's exactly the thought process that we followed. Once we got in here though, it needed a ton more work, and it's hard. Like, we are in a tough business, guys. Fix and flips are not easy. We might make it sound easy, and sometimes you look at the before and after and it's all good, but it's a lot of work that happens in between. And once we got in here, we couldn't really see behind the walls, right? So we can't see until you demo the wall. We had water in the basement. We had problems with the roof that was leaking. The framing on the roof was bad. So there was a lot more cost to actually renovate the place. We ended up spending $150,000 renovating the space. Instead of the 70, 80 that we started and the 100 that we thought maybe we would spend, we went way above that. And I'm going to talk about that a little bit, because especially in the market we're in right now, we first of all, and then you guys, we need to be super careful on how to stay on budget. We need to stay on budget. There's just no way around it. If we want to be profitable in the down market, we got to know our numbers. So we're going to go back to that. Stick with me. Also, guys, if you find this valuable, like, share, subscribe. I really need your support to share this to as many people as possible. I want to know what you guys are thinking. If you like how I'm running numbers, and if you like this deal, just comment below. I'll respond to that. So let's dive right into the construction numbers a little bit, because if I'm struggling and going over budget by quite a bit, in this case $50,000, I'm sure you guys will go through the same thing. It's definitely a challenge. The problem I'm having right now is that the labor cost has gone up and material cost has gone up, right? So we started this project in Hopkinton back in 2021. It's been 10 months or 9 months ago, right? So market has changed, but also materials and prices have changed. So it's hard for us to predict where cost is going. So that's one problem. But the main thing for you guys is to really understand from day one, to have a good understanding of how much you're going to spend. It's going to be a challenge. You're going to get better and better with each project, but I think the best way is to have an itemized list for each thing you're gonna repair. For us, typically, we come in the living room or kitchen, we look around and we say, okay, first we got cleanup. We kind of have an idea if it's gonna cost us $2,000 or $10,000 to clean up a place, depending on how much junk it is. I think here we spent about $4,000 removing all the trash, getting the dumpsters and all that stuff. Next is demo, right? You gotta demo some walls. In this case, we opened up the kitchen. We removed an L-shaped wall. That is demo. We demoed the bathrooms, we demoed the lower level partially because of the water, so that is a cost pretty much that you're gonna have to pay somebody, clean it up and get it down to the studs. Then you got your electricians, plumbers, HVAC company, right? All the rough mechanicals that you gotta spend money on. We spent $15,000 in electric here. We spent about $10,000 in plumbing. We spent, I think, $13,000 for central heat and AC. Then you got insulation, right? Then you got drywall. I think drywall bill was around $8,000 or $9,000. That is just to get this place ready to be painted. Then you got paint, you got finished carpentry, you got flooring. So each one of those, it's close to $10,000 each. So everything adds up, but you need to be able to come in on day one and itemize each individual trade and put a dollar amount to it. And it's hard if you are not in the trade yourself, right? So either you got to hire a general contractor or you got to reach out to someone like me and get some help, but you don't have to go alone. Just bring somebody in that has the experience. For us, I didn't have the construction background, so I struggled with it, but I went to meetups, I went and talked to other investors, I went online and watched videos just like this one that I'm sharing with you guys, and it's been extremely, extremely beneficial. While we're on the topic though, guys, join me on the monthly meetup events. We have them once a month in Framingham. We get together with other local investors and just talk shop. We talk real estate, hang out, share contacts, and we have got deals done. I've hired from the meetups. It's been extremely beneficial to everyone that joins because it's a great networking event. So we'll put the link, sign up, come see me next time, say hi, and please mention the fact that you are watching the videos and that's how we found me. So basically we spent $150,000 on a 2,200 square feet home. And again, guys, don't forget, this wasn't a full gut rehab. Partially gutted, kitchen and bathrooms, right, and some of the lower level. But the rest of the property, we kept the walls, we kept wires, we kept all of that stuff. The insulation, we didn't change any of that. And then you got the windows that we kept and things like that. So we saved a few bucks by doing that. One other metric I wanted to share though is that other than having an itemized list, you guys can run numbers per square feet. If this is 2,200 square foot home and you are spending $150,000, that is roughly $68, $70 a square feet, right? And we could do that on day one. We come here, we look around and we say, you know what, based on experience, we're probably gonna spend $150,000 here because we are renovating at, let's say, $75 a square foot. You will know the total square footage of the house. That's easy to find out. And if you have a dollar per square feet number, that's an easy math right there for you to kind of create a budget. And then if you're borrowing $150,000 and you start the work, then you can allocate it on different trades, right? Let me share with you guys a quick tip on putting money aside when you are dealing with renovation. So obviously you have your scope of work. We did the same thing here. On day one, we showed up and created the whole scope of work. And by that, I mean just the whole step-by-step of what we're gonna renovate, what we're keeping, right? The plan with the renovations. And then you put a dollar amount to everything that you're doing. Because if I'm saying that I'm gonna fix the bathroom, I need to outline everything from demo to installing tile and everything. But once you finish the whole scope of work and budget, because we're going always over budget in this market, right? With labor going up and materials going up, you need to pretty much put about 10 or 15% of your total budget aside for anything unexpected. In this case, I told you guys I went from $100,000 in renovations to a final renovation cost of $150,000. That's a problem. We are lucky that we have multiple projects, and sometimes if we go over budget, we can use our own funds to finish the project. But if you're just starting out, or if you are low on cash and you are paying everybody based on the budget that you started, now anything extra is going to put you guys in a really tough spot because you can't finish the project, right? And if you can't finish the project, you cannot get paid and you're not making a profit. And we are all here to really go from purchase to sale and make a profit. That's the whole name of the game with fix and flips. So guys, let's talk about what we got as offers. We ended up with 8 offers here after the open house, which is an amazing place to be as a seller. You want to have multiple offers. A bidding war started that way, which is great. Before doing the open house though, we had to stage the property. We always stage it. We see a great return on investment and we got a great company for staging. If you guys want any referrals, comment below. I'll get in touch with you and share all our vendors. But obviously a deep cleaning of the property, stage it, take professional photos, and have our agent list it on the MLS and pretty much get it ready for showings. Typically we list on a Tuesday or Wednesday, and the first open house is on Saturday or Sunday. This way we have enough time for all the portals online to show it, right? Redfin and Zillow and all this website have the listing live so people can start schedule the showings. So after a lot of negotiations back and forth on these 8 offers, we had 2 that started competing with each other and they got us all the way to $763,000. So we are pending right now at $763,000. Again, guys, we purchased it for $322,000, $150,000 in rehab, and we netted about $225,000 on this project. Obviously, it was a great one. It's more than we get on fix and flips, but also it took a lot of effort from the whole team to get us to the finish line. So I gave you guys the number on the construction side, right, on the renovations, $150,000. Now I'm gonna give you the numbers on closing cost, holding cost, and selling cost, because these are numbers actually that these are expenses, right? And you guys need to be aware of that. Obviously, you want to be aware of how much you're spending on rehab, but there is other costs like closing, right? Closing when you purchase the property. Back when we purchased this in 2021, we spent about $3,800 in closing cost. Then we have a rehab loan, right? We're borrowing money for the purchase and the construction, and we're paying somewhere between 8 and 10% on that money. So that 10% for the 9 months added up to $20,000. Actually, it's just shy of $21,000. Then you got property taxes. If we carry this property for 9 months, we got to pay the town of Hopkinton taxes for 9 months. Then you got insurance, because you have to insure the property when you're going through construction. The utilities, right? You are paying for water, electricity, all of that stuff. So these are all costs that you guys need to be aware of. I mentioned the $763 selling price. We have the mortgage of a $450,000 total, and then we got commissions, right? Commissions is another expense. At 4%, we ended up paying $30,520,000 in commissions. And then at the bottom, we got the closing cost on the sales side, because when you are selling the property, you're still paying Massachusetts stamp tax, you're paying the recording fees, you're paying the attorney fees, so about $4,000 there. There is a ton of costs that add up on the holding side and on the selling side, but all in all, we made about $225,000 in profit on this deal. So you guys have me on video saying that the after repair value for this property is $560,000. 2 doors down, a property sold a couple months back, so it's perfect because it's a property, it's on the same street and sold a couple months back, so it's a very recent sale and was a very similar style to this property. And so that property sold for $560,000, $560,000, and that's the number I'm using for my ARV. I did that back in 2021. If you haven't watched the video, go check it out. But I thought we're gonna sell for $560,000. And obviously I just shared with you that we got an offer for $763,000, $203,000 over what I had expected, right? And that's beautiful. I'm loving it. I'm happy and excited for that. Obviously, we want to make as much money as possible, but I want to share with you guys a couple of things here. One, the fact that we are conservative, and the 70% rule just protects us in case the market goes down, in case there's things that we can't predict, right? In this case, though, there was a lot of appreciation in the last 9-10 months that we have owned the property. And appreciation is great. Obviously, if it happens, it's all gravy, it's all profit, but we can't be thinking that way. As an investor, the worst thing I can do right now when I'm buying the next property is to think that prices will always continue to go up, right? That's not the case. That's one last quick tip I want to share with you guys, that the market is softening. We can't count on appreciation moving forward. If it happens, again, awesome, but we can't think that way. We want to protect our downside. And you do that by following the formula and by pulling comps right now, meaning anything that's actually on the MLS right now, it's a good comp. anything that's sold within the last 30 days is a good comp. Because what I'm seeing in the market from our fix and flip projects is that a lot less first-time home buyers, and the fact that the interest rates are now approaching 6% is definitely affecting the pool of buyers. And now you see more properties going on the market. So that equation of supply and demand is shifting slowly into a buyer's market. So keep that in mind, run comps from the last 30 days and you will be fine. Guys, that's all I got for today, but the big question I got is, are we in a recession? Are we heading into a recession? And how are you guys preparing for it? Definitely comment below. I want to know what you guys are thinking. And as always, catch you on the next one.